Monument number 26, the 7th New Jersey Infantry. This monument is located where its commander, Colonel Louis Francine, was fatally wounded on July 2nd. It is relatively different as it depicts a bullet rather than a fighting unit or a soldier. It is shaped like the Manet bullet used by the troops during the battle. Because of its shape and size, it was superior to the bullets used on the older type muskets, as it could easily slip down even a powder-clogged barrel. The explosive gases caused the soft metal to expand to fit the barrel rifling grooves, to increase the speed and accuracy of the projectile. Monument number 27, the Soldiers' National Monument. The first memorial to be placed at Gettysburg was the Soldiers' National Monument. Dedicated on July 1, 1869, at a cost of $50,000, it's located in the center of the semicircle of Union graves. Atop the monument is a woman representing the genius of liberty. She is grasping a sword in one hand and a laurel wreath in the other. There are 4 statues at the base, one representing war, one representing history, another representing peace, and still another representing plenty. The statue representing war is a portrait of a soldier resting after the battle. His foot is resting on an artillery tube. He's telling the story of what happened here to the second statue, history. History is recording the achievement and the names of the fallen. Behind them sits plenty, symbolizing the results of the battle triumph. Peace is represented by a mechanic, featuring tools of the trade. Monument number 28, the Lincoln Speech Memorial. On February 11, 1895, a law was created by Congress to create the Gettysburg National Military Park, with a provision of the creation of a memorial commemorating the Gettysburg Address. There are 2 bronze plaques on the monument. The first contains a letter from Judge David Wills inviting the president to come to Gettysburg. The other plaque contains the address itself. This monument is unique as it's one of few monuments in the world honoring a speech. Located in the National Cemetery and erected in 1912, it's the only monument that's never been dedicated. The monument contains stars above the plaques depicting the states that remain loyal to the Union. The most outstanding feature is the bust of Lincoln in the center. Monument number 29, the 24th Michigan Infantry. Most striking about the statue on this monument is the hat worn by the soldier. This unit was part of the Iron Brigade and wore the black army dress hat rather than the kepi worn by other soldiers. The hat had a bell crown, a wide brim turned up at the side. It usually had a black plume sticking out proudly. Legend has it that the Confederates thought they would meet a less experienced unit at Gettysburg, but thought differently when they saw the black hats of the 25th. Dedicated in 1889 at a cost of $1,350, this monument honored the men who held their position in battle on July 1st. Only 99 men remained from a unit of 500. Monument number 30, the West Virginia Infantry. Historically, West Virginia gained admission to the United States on June 20, 1863. When they entered the battle at Gettysburg, they were the only unit carrying a current American flag. They borrowed a star from another flag and sewed it onto theirs to show loyalty to the Union cause. This unit helped to drive the Confederates from East Cemetery Hill and the beleaguered guns of 2 batteries. The statue stands at the site of the battle. The soldier statue is dressed in the Union winter uniform, and on the back of the monument is the slogan, "Sons of the Mountains." Monument number 31, the 4th Ohio Infantry. One of the features of this monument is that it was constructed of a substance called white bronze. This material was developed in the 1887 and costing $2,500. This monument features a column with a Union soldier on top. It includes the state seal of Ohio, a stack of muskets, a pile of war material, and a series of battle flags. However, white bronze lacked strength, so sections of the monument were replaced. Monument number 32, the 1st Minnesota Infantry. Close to the Pennsylvania State Memorial is the first Minnesota Infantry Memorial. Dedicated on July 2, 1897, and costing $16,000, the monument honors the men of this unit and its struggle to turn back the Confederate force on July 2nd. The remains of the 3rd Corps of the Union Army were overwhelmed, and the Confederate forces were on the verge of capturing Cemetery Hill. 8 companies of the 1st Minnesota Regiment charged down the hill. They suffered 215 casualties, or 82% of their unit. The next day, a handful of the survivors fought to repulse Pickett's charge. The soldier on top of the shaft is in double quick pace and is facing the area where the 1st Minnesota lost heavily. Memorial number 33, the 26th North Carolina Infantry. For many years, Union veterans resisted the concept of having their former enemies placing markings on the Gettysburg field. However, in 1985, a regimental monument was erected honoring the 26th North number 34 John Burns portrait statue. Although most of the statues at Gettysburg depict the brave fighting men, there's one statue that honors the only civilian fighting on the Union side. John Burns, a veteran of the War of 1812, fought with the 7th Wisconsin. He received 3 wounds and left the field. After recovering, he spent the rest of his life a local hero. On July 1, 1903, a statue was erected in his honor at the spot of his service. A bronze plaque below the statue contains the words of General Doubleday used in his report commending John Burns' heroics. Statue number 35, Jenny Wade's grave. Jenny Wade was the only local civilian to lose her life during the battle at Gettysburg. On July 3rd, while preparing dough in her kitchen, a shot came through the walls of the house and she was fatally struck. Her statue near her grave is located in the Evergreen Cemetery, and the statue was dedicated in 1901. A steel flagstaff is next to her grave, and the flag on the shaft is permitted to fly day and night. Each year, 2 flags are sent by the Women's Relief Corps for replacements. Her statue is one of 2 statues honoring women at Gettysburg. Statue number 36, John Reynolds Equestrian Statue. Major John Reynolds was one of the first to fall during the battle at Gettysburg. It is noted that the statue, weighing over 9,000 pounds, rests on 2 hooves and is considered an engineering wonder. Dedicated on July 1, 1899, and costing $27,666, the statue is one of the centerpieces on Chambersburg Pike. Statue number 37, John Buford Portrait Statue. Although a Kentuckian by birth, John Buford led 3,000 cavalrymen of his Union division on July 1, 1863. The efforts by his troops on McPherson's Ridge blunted the Confederate attack and bought time for the Union units. Although he was not wounded in battle, he contracted typhoid fever and died in December of 1863. His statue is located on the Chambersburg Pike and was dedicated on July 1, 1895. One of the features of his monument is that there are 4 cannon tubes at its base. These tubes fired the first Union shot of the battle under Buford's command. Statue number 38, Abner Doubleday Portrait Statue. Although General Abner Doubleday was to have invented the game of baseball, he also was a career soldier. In 1861, as an artillery captain, his troops aimed and fired the first Union shot at Fort Sumter at Charleston Harbor. After the death of General Reynolds, Doubleday took command of the 1st Corps and defended the ground west of Gettysburg. However, the unit was overwhelmed. Doubleday was relieved of the command. On September 25, 1917, Alice Seymour Doubleday, the general's niece, unveiled the statue. Statue number 39, the 8th Pennsylvania Cavalry. This statue is very close to the large Pennsylvania State Memorial and has a strange configuration. It depicts a cavalry soldier on his horse, and it appears that a tree stump is holding the horse up. Monument number 40, the 6th New York Cavalry. This imposing monument is on the road to the Eternal Peace Memorial and was dedicated on July 11, 1889. The monument resembles a chess piece known as a rook and has 2 horse heads on each side. Visitors are also impressed with the depiction of a cavalry charge on the front of the monument. Monument number 41, the 1st United States Sharpshooters Company G of Wisconsin. This monument honors the special group of soldiers who were the best marksmen of their units. Whereas other infantrymen used muskets, these men used rifles that were more accurate. However, the rifles could not be loaded as quickly as the muskets, which put the marksmen in danger. Their targets were usually the officers or color bearers of the enemy. Both sides had such marksmen and were the snipers of their day. Monument number 42, the 11th Massachusetts Infantry. This monument was dedicated on October 8, 1885, and is located on Emmitsburg Road and Sickles Avenue. This monument has a raised sword at the top with muskets and flags embossed on the front. Formed in 1861, this unit fought in most major battles of the war. These battles included both Bull's Run, Fredericksburg, and of course, Gettysburg. Monument number 43, the 5th Michigan Infantry. This monument is located on Sickles Avenue, near the Loop, and was dedicated on June 12, 1889. The most prominent feature of the monument is the depiction of a soldier loading his musket. After heavy fighting at Chancellorsville, the regiment made a forced march, arriving at Gettysburg on July 2nd, and immediately saw action beyond Emmitsburg Pike. In 1 hour, they lost 105 men, killed or wounded.